Wanted me to show how to use FL Studio. I don't know if this is a good I- good idea to do it like this. Videos. It's too quiet. What do you mean? Yeah, quickly go over this. So, FL Studio. What is this? This thing's not switching. So, on Twitch it's not switching. Why? What about YouTube? Doesn't say I'm live. Showing up in a crazy way. On Twitch, it's stuck. Can I? Keeps going. This is the thing. Let's share this again. Damn. Whatever. Is it because it's installing? Anyway, so in FL Studio we have, I'll call them zones. Zone. So we have a channel rack, right? Which you can just right click and drag to move around like this. And to extend, you just come to this side. In this, lately I am using 10 because I used to use 8. So what I mean is these um, beats, small 4 steps. These 4 steps are beats, and then this whole thing is like a bar. So I used to use 2 bars or 4 beats, and then lately I'm using, I don't use the whole 10. I'm just showing 10, right? 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? And then this is the channel rack. You can, if you have multiple sounds, you can create groups, filter groups, right? You can read up here, hint panel. These are groups, filter groups. And to create one, you just right click, add filter group. Yeah, and then this one is to resize these buttons, right? Create your filter group. This one is new. It's sounds. It will occupy the channel rack sequencer with stuff. These steps are actually sequencer, right? These are sequencer steps. And then here it's your channel rack settings, I guess you can say. Yeah, I'll call it settings. And then this one is a channel rack player, or you can just switch up here. Same thing, right? You can see I'm selecting song, and it's the name channel rack. You might be clicking other stuff. To know that you have the channel rack, you just check the name up here. And then here it's this is a sequence swing, right? It swings the channel rack by moving it up. I believe it offsets each step. Each step gets swinged in different directions. Some are swinged this way, and some are swinged to the right. Some are swing to the left, some are swing to the right. But I believe majority is swinged to the right. And then here's pattern length. But I usually don't mess with it because it's fine. If you wanna mess with it, I don't know in what circumstance you would be what you call this, messing with this pattern length, unless you're working with thirds, sixths, or 6/10ths. Yeah, that's a crazy amount. So then you'll be messing with the pattern length. And then here's the loop. It used to be here, so they shifted to this side. What it does, if you have it active in the playlist, you can, drag out your pattern, and it will create the it will duplicate, not duplicate, but you'll be able to extend your pattern. Yeah, extend. So you'll be able to extend your pattern to whatever length you want and use it that way. If you have it off, let me show you what it looks like. So it currently looks like this with the shadow notes right here. And then if I turn it off, they're all gone. So yeah, there's that. And then this is the graph editor. The graph editor is the same as the piano roll, right? If I edit the volume here, you'll see the same edit in the piano roll control. panel, right? So you'll have velocity, release, fine pitch, panning, mode X shift, all that fun stuff, right? Fine pitch and node pitch are different. For that, we need a different video. And then we have interactive step sequencer, which for me it's just switching the windows, right, between the one where you click in, which is interactive, and then the one where if you click the window you open the piano roll and you can mute the sound. Pretty neat, but have to get used to it because it's new. Sometimes I'm just used to just, hovering over and click, but now I have to be careful that I don't click the center portion because then I'm muting. So yeah, that's the channel rack. And then we have our browser, which is the first thing I should have introduced. Our browser is where we find our samples, sample sounds, our drum sounds, everything, right? Even plugins, everything. But I suggest we don't use the browser for to find plugins unless it's third-party plugins. For example, if you want to load a what's this? If you want to load a FL Studio plugin, then we just click on this plugin picker. But I saw that in FL Studio, no, not that I saw, in this FL Studio actually, the plugin picker is not in on the ribbon up here, so you have to right click anywhere on one of these bands and click edit. You can use any old factory presets, or you can edit it yourself, and then add the plugin picker, which is I don't see it. I don't understand. It's somewhere here. Oh, here it is. Plugin picker. You simply drag it and it will show up here. And you can edit this ribbon however you want. And then you save it and close. So yeah, if you want to pick third-party plugins, we can use the browser, which we go to for the plugin picker. But for third-party plugins, we come here, and then you're gonna see it like this, I believe. FL Studio default plugins. We want the ones we installed, and then we can open both these folders just for convenience. Next time they'll be already opened. So VST and VST3. Most plugins nowadays are VST3, but some plugins are still VST. So you'll have to check that out. You'll have to know which plugins the one you installed, because in new, once you add other plugins or you refresh, right? You refresh your list, You see, I have new, right? But once I refresh, it's gone. So don't mind the new stuff, the new folder, because it's gonna disappear. So focus on these two folders and know that effects, you even if the plugin is not an effect plugin, uh, it won't load up in the channel rack. Now some, right, but there are some plugins like generator, I think in Electra, can load up in the mixer even though it's a generator. That's crazy. So but F will send it automatically to my channel rack. So the browser, we have our sounds to we have our sounds here, and we have our plugins, and the other folders don't matter that much. This one is our favorites folder. So if you have a favorite sound, you can, or a favorite plugin or favorite project or whatever, you can just start it and it'll be added to your favorites folder. Now the other thing to mention about the browser is how do we get our drum kit, like I have right here, into our browser. Well, first thing first is we go to options and then file settings, and right here under browser, extra search folders, right? Not tools. Even if you're using old FL Studio, I don't know what to call this, versions, yeah. Even if you're using old FL Studio version, and even if you're using an old FL Studio version, in the browser extra search folders is still there. It's just that in FL Studio 12, I believe, or below, 12 and below, I believe, it's just this user data folder, not the browser search. So you just change the user data folder in the old FL Studio, but after that we're using search folders, not the user data folder. And you just, first thing you do is click on the folder here. You saw the mouse changes, right? Make sure you're not clicking here where it's gonna make you type. Make sure you click on the folder and then locate your folder to wherever you put it, right? It can be this PC, open your PC, or this PC, and then open users, and then click on your username and documents, and then you can find your drum kits here, and then you just say select folder, and it will show the path to that folder. I do not want that, so I'll remove it. And if you gave it a random name, right, the folder, if the folder is a name that you don't like, or you want it to show up differently in the browser, you can just name it here, right? Drums. And then in the browser it will change. However, you'll have to save, and that's how we get our drum kit into the browser. Next thing is our playlist. This is where we arrange our sounds. Once you have different patterns, Patterns come from the channel rack, right? To edit a pattern, we go to the channel rack. To have final control, we use the piano roll, right? Channel rack to have final control, because this is rigid, right? We are limited to 4 steps and these steps only, right? 4 steps, 4 and 4, right? Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are limited by 4 and 4. So to have final control, we use piano roll, and with piano roll, we can use the magnet. I don't like to use the magnet. I use this right here, snapping main snap. Right, we have sixth of a step, quarter of a step, a third of a step, half a step. As you can see, the grid changes, right? And then we have beats, and then we have half a beat. The grid keeps changing, a beat, and then a bar. Just to have final control over the sequencer. And then we can also, in the playlist, we can also add sounds directly, right? So if in one shot, sounds that you usually use in the pattern, like a kick, you can add on the playlist or the channel rack itself. But there's a difference in the two, right? On the playlist, you don't have much control over the sound. Well, you're dealing with the sound directly, right? On the channel rack, let me open both so I can show you guys. You see these two sounds. This is the same sound, but they're different due to how they're loaded, right? In the channel rack, the sound is balanced, right? You have this volume control, and you have this volume control, and you also have, wait, what am I trying to say? I think it was here. Because I remember doing it. Oh. Doing it like this, right? Loading it directly into the playlist allows you to mess around with the sample itself on the playlist. But as you can see, you don't have the start offset. How we do the start offset in the playlist, you have to enable these sample editing tools, which are not available in FL Studio 20 and downwards. So you need FL Studio 21, I believe, and then you'll be able to mess around with the sample. But it's not the same. As you can see, this one is faded, while this one I can have this start option. I can fade it as well, right? I can adjust the start I can use looping, loop points, and so on. Crossfade, loop points are working. As for the one we loaded the sample directly into the playlist, we don't have the loop points, right? I can crossfade, but I don't have the option to turn it off because now it's gonna see. I cannot make it loop indefinitely. As for here, we can loop it indefinitely. Right? So there's a difference between loading your sample in the channel rack and loading your sample in the playlist. And then after you have arranged your sounds to however you like, we can route our sounds if we don't have them routed by then. Um, but I suggest routing them during the process of creating a beat, or just route your sounds to the playlist and keep your playlist neat. Don't have sounds in padding 13 on channel 1 of the playlist. They have to be somewhere up here, while sounds that like patterns that are like from 1 to 10 are also down here, right? We can have sends, we can create sends, right? Which I won't explain what the send is, or a pass, or any of those stuff, but you can have them, right? You can have them and then create your route your other sounds while having those passes. Otherwise, our mixer is gonna be a mess. It won't be easy to correlate our patterns with our mixer. So after we arrange, we have our mixer where now we are mixing. Because once we reach the point of the mixer, our song has to be balanced. So we just mixing, and then after mixing, we mastering. After mastering, we export the song. So yeah, this is our mixer. How we route our sounds to the mixer. It's the channel rack. You just select the sound, even if it's loaded through the arrangement. It will still show up in the channel rack. You just click on the sound and click Control L, or if you don't like shortcuts, you can right click on the sound. Sorry about that. You can right click on the sound, assign to new track instrument, or you can click the sound and go to the channel, to the mixer, and right click on the insert that you want to route the sound, and under routing, channel routing, route selected channels to this track, right? If you have selected multiple, um, you select multiple by just clicking and dragging. There's no other buttons involved. You just click on this light thing and drag, right? Because you see this light, you just click on it and drag, right? That means the sounds are selected, and then we go to our mixer, and then we can select the first one or whichever one we want, and then say route. The first option selected route selected channels to this track. It means all those sounds will be routed to this track. All of them will be routed to 8, right? And the other option, route selected channels starting from this track, meaning they'll be um, laid out across different inserts of the mixer, as we see, right? They're now laid out, and that is our channel rack, mixer, and playlist. So let's say whatever tutorial you watched, they only showed making a beat in one pattern, right? Like all your sounds are on one pattern, and now you want to transition to the playlist to arrange your song. What you do is come to the pattern that has all your sounds, all your patterns, right? And then up here on the pattern selector, right? You click the drop down and you simply click split by channel, right? Then it will be split. You have different patterns by sound. As you can see, it takes the name of the sound that you have. And I believe that's it when it comes to FL Studio. If you have any other questions, remember to join my Discord. Link is in the description of this video, or you can simply find me on my TikTok on at OBA_SA. And with that,